So then the third leg of the stool is once we know kind of what these stream systems are capable of, what kind of systems they are, what the criteria are to keep them in good shape. We have a policy of anti-degradation that says essentially that water shouldn't be lowered in quality. And from the Clean Water Act, states shall adopt an anti-degradation standard applicable to all waters of the Great Lakes and all waters of Wisconsin, and identify the methods for implementing such a standard. And one of the ways that we do this in Wisconsin is through the designation of outstanding and exceptional resource waters. And as the name applies, these are kind of the highest quality waters in the state. They get this special designation that recognizes there are, really relatively free of pollutants in some of the best waters that we have in the state. And I'll just point out that ORWs, you'll hear that term a lot, that's outstanding resource waters. It's about 7.5% of streams statewide. Exceptional resource water is about 11% of streams statewide. So it really is kind of those best waters in the state. And those are identified, they're listed by name, again in NR 102. So let's take a look at where they are in Bayfield County. Kind of tough to see there, but those bright green lines are the outstanding resource waters. The darker blue lines are designated exceptional resource waters. It's about 414 miles of outstanding exceptional resource waters in Bayfield County. And if you take a look at, it's about 7.5% outstanding resource water statewide. We've got quite a few of them in Bayfield County. And I think that those of us that live here kind of know this. We live in a place where the water quality is generally high. And if you look around this map, it's nearly every major river system around the peninsula. We enjoy good water quality here. So this is kind of my spoiler alert for water quality in the county. This is the end point, is that things are really in pretty good shape. Okay, so that's a little bit about water quality standards and the responsibility the state has to identify those designated uses, the criteria, and the anti-degradation policy. With that in place, then, the EPA requires states to develop a monitoring strategy to evaluate the waters of the state and say, how are we doing in relationship to those standards? And one of the things that all good monitoring programs will have is it will have a clearly defined question that they are working to answer. And these are the questions that we're working to answer. The important thing here, as we kind of talk through this a little bit more, is that this charge and these questions are through a statewide lens. And so when we work to identify where we're going to monitor, what we're going to monitor, how we're going to monitor that, we're working to answer these questions primarily from a statewide perspective.